Hi everybody, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and I've got yet another kit review for you today. Yes, and here it is, another package from Jatlam, and yes, it's just wrapped up in cardboard in a plastic bag. So yeah, haven't said what this one is in the title because I want it to be a surprise. Obviously I know what's in here, but I know nothing about what's in here, so I have a lot to learn. And maybe after you guys have watched this video, then you can help me with where I can find some research, because all I know is I've seen a couple of pictures of it, so I don't know, and sometimes it looks filthy and sometimes it looks clean, so I need all the help I can get here, guys. So enjoy. If this is your first time visiting the channel, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. If you want to see more of my stuff, hit the notification bell, and then you'll get notified when I bring another video out. I do lots and lots of reviews, hints and tips for beginners, builds and stuff like that. So yeah, stay tuned really. And one other thing, this model has got a bit of a theme of the youngster to it, and I think there's going to be a lot of happy youngsters getting this kit for Christmas. So if you are a first time visitor and you are a youngster, whatever, this is a family friendly show. There's not swearing or innuendos or anything really going on, so you have no worries there. You can stay tuned and not be offended or worried about anything. No, there's no big swearing or anything like that. So without further ado, let's get the camera flipped round, get to the bench and see what is in this big grey box. Right then, so let's have a look in here. We've got the box on the bench, and as I say, we've got this big grey bag, so we're going to cut straight through the bag. I know there's a sleeve of cardboard under there, so I'm not going to damage anything. So we'll just rip this bag open, get it off, just like so. And there we go. And as I say, this came from Jatlam down in Wester-super-Mare. Got a pretty good price on it, but I have noticed that now on Amazon, the price of this has dropped to like £43. I think I paid about 47, but yeah, the price has dropped to about £43, so it's getting cheaper and cheaper by the day. So what is it, I hear you say, or I hear you ask? It is the Razor Crest, Star Wars Mandalorian Razor Crest. Now, as I say, I know nothing about this kit, but I recently did a how-to video on using these Tamiya lacquer paints for getting metallic finishes, and a couple of people suggested that this might be a good kit to do. So I thought, yeah, really good idea. So I've been and got it. I know nothing about it, as I say. You guys can help me. I don't even know, and I can see there's an X-Wing behind it. Is this friend or foe? Was it the Empire and something else? I can't remember now. I am a bit of a Star Wars fan. I've got up here, let's just show you. Here we've got a Y-Wing. There's a Y-Wing there that I've actually lost the canopy of. But basically you can see it's all beat up and damaged. There you can see lots and lots of damage on it. But that's a Bandai kit up there collecting dust. But that is a lovely, lovely model. I've also got the Bandai Millennium Falcon, and I've also got the Fine Molds Millennium Falcon, both in kit form unbuilt. So this will go nicely with them being 72nd scale. I do know that you can get this kit from Bandai, and it's about this big. It's absolutely tiny. I think it's 1/270th scale or 1/288th. You'll see a few reviews and people are saying it's 144th scale. It's not, because I mean this is 33.7 centimeters at 1/72nd scale, which would mean, and this is about the same length as the box, which would mean 144th, it would obviously be half the size, and it's not, it's about that big. So basically it is about that big, it's tiny. So I think for the money, this is by far the better buy. Most people, Star Wars revel, oh, it's going to be a cheap snap together thing that's pre-painted, or it's going to be like a toy, or it's going to be 1/429th scale or 1/357th scale, you know. But they've actually done it this time. They've got a 72nd scale Razor Crest that's going to go beautifully with all your other Star Wars models. You know, you got your beautiful Bandai X-Wings and TIE Fighters and all that, so it's going to be nice to go with them. But as I say, I need to do some learning. Right, so that's the Mandalorian, I believe, and then he carries around a little green man in his pocket, doesn't he, or something? I don't know. So I don't have Disney, the Disney Channel, so yeah. Anyway, looking around the box, here we've got on the side light reflections. You can see we've got the built-up model. You can see we've got the undercarriage bays down and the cargo bay open, which is nice. All the sprues there, which is a typical Revell thing. They've got some, it's basically, it's telling us it's a model kit, adhesive and paints not included, required for results similar to the images illustrated. Multilingual assembly instructions include extensive directions. Now, as I say, if you are new to the hobby, if you are watching one of my videos here for the first time, I will do a build of this. It's going to be a Christmas build, and it will be aimed at the beginners and the youngsters amongst us. Not children, just, you know, the 15, 16-year-olds who may not have ever built a kit before. So we'll go through some really basic stuff, and we'll talk about some basic tools and what you can get away with, so you don't have to spend a fortune on tools and that. So looking around the box here, you can see on the end we've basically got the same, just the images there. Okay, there we go. The kit number is 06781. Alright, so looking around the other side of the box here, again just images of the box front, and again on the other end the same thing again. And on the back here we've got some information about the Razor Crest itself. Oh, it's telling me here I can learn a little bit. It's a hyperdrive patrol ship. Yay! And then on the back here you can see we've got a beautifully detailed cockpit and guns and everything. Big guns and big engines and everything. My plan is to basically build this, if I can, with the engines off and paint and weather the living daylights out of it, and then fit the engines, because it's going to be much easier to do them separately on a stick or whatever, and be able to get into the sides and everything, and go from there. So let's have a look inside the box. As you can see, this is all sealed up. I haven't opened it. So it's an end opening box, which is horrible, which modelers don't like. So we can get everything out. Let's get everything out of here, and there we go. See if we completely empty the box. I don't want us to slide off the bench. There we go, that is the box completely empty. I expect Jess will come and have a look through the box now. So we've got our instructions there. 2 sprues in one bag there, which is nice. All nice and tightly bagged, typical Revell style, so they're not all rubbing around on each other. Single sprue there, stand, which I won't be using. I'll be having this undercarriage down. And then we've got the actual 2 sprues in that bag there. We've got our massive engines. It's much bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's nice and big. And then we've got this beautiful lower hull, which is clearly slide molded. It's very, very crisp, very sharp moulding. It is lovely. Just look at how crisp that is. Obviously the shade of the plastic doesn't help, but you can see those panel lines on there. Absolutely gorgeous. Now this is clearly slide molded, and I cannot see, if we look along here, you would normally see, if this was trumpeter or something, we would normally see a step here where the slide mold comes together. Oh yeah, I can just see it there. There's a line. There's a line just there. That's okay. That's going to be sanded out. It's really, really nice. Even on the inside, it's lovely. So, yeah, you can just imagine this all painted, and then I'm going to do some lovely masking and stuff with post-it notes and just shade in different panels, and we'll do some streaking and some staining and all that, and just really go to town. Really make a nice job of this. Front end there, the detail on there is beautiful, and we've got some clear parts there which are very nice. Right, so let's have a look inside of what we've got. Let's get my Y-wing out of the way so I don't go damaging that. Put the clear sprue over there. So as with all my reviews, first things first, we'll have a look at the instructions. They are a bit glossy, which is a shame, so let me just adjust my lighting and stuff and try and improve things. Okay, so that's our lighting improved a bit. I have to remember to put the light back afterwards to carry on. So front cover of the book here, typical Revell instructions, very nicely laid out. It's a level 3 kit, so it's going to be great for beginners and everything. The assembly side of things is going to be great for beginners, but the painting side of things isn't going to be. You can just go and get yourself some aerosol silver paint, spray it silver, have done with it. But obviously I'm going to go to town with the weathering and everything. But basically I will be starting off with spraying it silver, using a thing called an airbrush, which is here. This is an airbrush, okay, and it basically does the same job as an aerosol can. It's just a lot finer, a lot more refined. You can put the paint on a lot more slowly. So anyway, let's have a look in the book and see what we've got here. So, turning over the page, let's get the sprues out of the way. Turning over the page, here we've got basically with Revell They're just giving you some hints and tips about painting parts on the sprues, waiting for it to dry and then cut it off. All about using decals, 30 degrees, 10 seconds, rubber bands, clamps and everything. Read the book thoroughly. It's just all done in symbol form, so it's sort of multilingual really. And then here you've got what's called the legend, and this is basically the symbols used throughout the build. So if we just turn the page here, if we go into, say, here we go, we've got step 1, and you've got some symbols here. So it's telling you to paint, apply decals and use their decal solution. So you've got paint, so it's telling you to paint. You've got that symbol there, soak and apply decals, and then we've got we don't have the symbol, they're telling you to use their decal setting solution. Decal setting solution is going to be necessary to get the decals to sink down over any detail or anything, but we'll cover that during the build. So basically that's that. We go in the book here, we've got our health and safety instructions here about not building this and then giving it to your dog to play with and not sticking it in your ears, so you can have a read of that. Then we've got some lovely decals here. They are, you can see on the bottom, we've got the actual letter Z or Z behind the number there. That basically indicates, I learnt this from one of my subscribers, that indicates who made it. So if it's a C, it's Cartograph, and if it's a Z, it's Zanelli or something. It's another Italian company. Again, fantastic decals, so they're going to go down really, really nice. As I say, with some setting solution, if you're trying to get them to go over some funny lines and stuff, but we can cover that during the build. Paint call-outs here, bit of a pain with Revell. I do love Revell kits, but I think this is a pain. They call out their own colour codes, and they don't give them proper names. It's like black silk matte. There'll be something like, you know, patina green silk matte. What colour's that? You know, wood brown silk matte, black silk matte, dark grey silk matte, dark green silk matte. So, and then they have all these mixes as well of you to mix colours, but they don't actually tell you any other colours to use. So we'll cover that in the build, what colours we're going to use and from what manufacturer. I'll probably stick mainly with Tamiya, and then for the small brush painted parts we'll use Viejo Game Colour. And there we go, and it's telling you here about mixing the paints up and everything. The Revell aqueous paints are these. I'll just get one out of my drawer. This is a Revell aqueous. This is the 09 anthracite. So are we going to be using the 09 anthracite? Let's have a look. Very, very thin paper. There you go, anthracite matte. So that's that colour there. Very, very funny little strange plastic pots that they use. And also the paint is extremely thick, as you can see there. I can pour it out. So yeah, it's funny stuff. It is very, very friendly. It doesn't smell. You can mix it with water and stuff. So if you are a youngster getting into the hobby, that might be something you want to consider. Anyway, so here we've got what we call our sprue call out. So this is basically the image with all the sprues on, and all the parts and that, everything on there, so you can go back and look and find the part numbers of different pieces. And then here we're going straight into the build, and we're starting off with the, is this the cockpit? It's looking like it's the cockpit. Yes, it's the cockpit. So got the side walls there. It's giving me all the different colours we can paint to get a really beautifully looking cockpit. We have got some lovely clear parts to look through, so we are going to see all that. Cockpit floor there. Looks like we've got a green base to it, so the rest of it, this is going to be mainly black or grey, and then we'll have a green base and everything in there. Bright red seats by the look of it. Bulkheads going in, you've got more decals going on there, and then we've got our, is that Mandalorian? I guess that's the Mandalorian, or is it just the pilot? I don't know. Please tell me in the comments below. But here we've got all how to paint him. I probably won't be putting him in, to be honest. I'd rather see the cockpit without a figure in it, but we shall see. And you've got the pilot figure going in, and they've got like a wedge going into his back to make him fit firmly in the seat. Separate arms so you can position his hands on the controls and stuff. Instrument panel here, we've got lots of decals going on there, painting it up and everything, and then fitting that in. Then we've got another bulkhead here with a doorway in it. Another bulkhead here with some sort of mesh. This looks like it's the lower area underneath the pilot. That looks like a toilet. Not a problem. It probably isn't, but it certainly looks like one. And then Around here we've got all the detail painting for the sidewalls of the cargo bay, fitting the sidewalls into the cargo bay, so it's nice we've got internal detail separate to go together very much like a helicopter. And then this is going to be the cargo bay roof, and we've got the crane hooks there going in. And then over the page we're going to fit the roof down. We've got a ladder going on the side there, and then we've got a cargo hatch here, which is a nice touch, so we can have that open or closed. And then we've got a side entrance door, is that, or is that undercarriage doors or something? Looks like it's a side entrance door. That's going in there, and then we're going to put the cargo bay down into our main hull. And then we're assembling some guns going in the sides here, and they're telling you here to glue this part 33 onto the gun, but be careful not to get any glue on the actual hull itself, because otherwise the gun won't move. But then you don't want the gun to be all just set flopping down. So basically we're going to actually have to look at putting some sort of friction in there so that the guns still move, but they don't just fall down on their own weight. Probably squeeze it, make it oval. And then same on the other side. And then we're adding the actual top down to the lower fuselage half, and then we're going to make a start on the engines. So that's what I wanted to see. We can actually build this as the fuselage, and then the engines could go together separately. It's going to make life a lot easier for painting and weathering and stuff. So there we go. So we're going to start on our engines now. So we've got the engine front and rear faces, or it's just the rear faces, is that? That's the front and the rear faces, and then we've got the outer cowlings there. So they're going together, simple sort of 4-part assembly there. And then we've got the pods going on for the engines to sit in. And then it's saying here, add the engines on. You've got the front, and then we've got the turkey feathers going on. Again, lots of metallics, lots of blue colours and stuff, and really go to town on that. As I say, I'm going to need to look at some reference material to find out what colours it all is. In reality, I'm sure you'll tell me down below. Adding the engines on, then I'm going to clear parts in. So we may wish to paint it all first and then put them in afterwards, or we can put them in now and then mask them up. Probably easier to put them in now and mask them up, and that way if we've got any detail around the edges or any gaps, we can deal with that before we all painted it. Got to drill some holes in here, so you may not have some small drills, but that's only if you're going to go for the flying example, which I'm not. You've got this base plate going in there, then we've got a panel going in the side. This is all flying, so these are the undercarriage doors all closed, and then you're going to build up your stand and just stick it on the stand. So that's it flying, that's it done. But doing it as landed, we've got our undercarriage there. That looks very Millennium Falcon-ish, doesn't it? And then the front gear there looks like the actual door itself is the actual landing leg. And then we've got here, this is our main landing gear going in the back there. More main landing gear going in the back there. Then we've got our rear hatch. What is it telling us here? These are the side hatches, so it's telling us they're going to come down and just sit there, so you'll have all the detail inside easily visible. So I think we'll probably go for that. Not sure what we'd put in there. We put in there as cargo. Then we've got the actual hydraulic rams there going in that hold the doors down. So what they're telling you here is to put it on its legs, put the doors down, glue them in position, let them set, and then put these hydraulic rams on, because it's going to look stupid if it's sat there with the doors up in the air, or it's got the doors holding it up off its undercarriage. Rear cargo bay there, again they're telling you the same thing. Put it in, let it dry, let it sit there, and then add your hydraulic rams in after. So that's all nice, going to look lovely. And then we're straight into our final painting and everything. So we've got just a few colours there going in. We've got it sat on its undercarriage there, we've got it sat on its stand there, and again here we've got all our undercarriage down. It's showing our decal placement as well. We've got these yellow bits and pieces, and that's it. So that's it as far as the instructions go. Okay, so there's the lighting sorted out. So this is the actual lower hull. As I say, we've looked at this already, and it is beautifully made. Very, very nice panel detailing on there. Very, very nice indeed. The plastic finish is a little grainy. It's going to need a quick polish for the metallics if you want anything to really sort of stand out as chrome, or it's going to have a nice coat of primer and then polish that back. But it's got this, I'm not sure if you're going to pick it up on the camera, it's got this very, very sort of grainy finish. Let me dim the light slightly, it'll probably show it better. Got this slightly grainy finish on there. You probably just about catch it there in the light. In fact, I think that lighting is probably better to show them on. Anyway, so there we go. So that's the main hull. Very, very nicely made indeed. And you can see it's nearly a foot long. It's very nice indeed. so going to our first bag here. Nice with Revell, they don't use staples, they don't heat seal anything. They use these nice soft polythene bags that are great and reusable for other stuff. And then it's all just sellotaped, so it's easy to put away again. So let's have a look at this. So this is our first sprue. So this is obviously engine intakes and exhausts, I'm guessing. Yes, that's going to be the exhaust, that's going to be the intakes by the look of it. And we've got our turkey feathers here. We've got some side pods there for our engines. This looks like it's the belly. Yes, that's the holes you're going to drill out if you're going to put it up on its stand. But that's the belly there. And then we've got the cargo door here. And what's very interesting, they've actually moulded 06781 Razor Crest 2021 Revell into that door. You can see it here. So they've moulded all that in there, which is very nice. So that's going to have to be sanded out. I believe that's on the outside as well, so we'll have to sand that out. But again, we've got some beautiful detail on these parts. Very, very nice detail on there. So yeah, you can see the wonderful panel detail and detailing on the surface. Very Millennium Falconish this. It looks like it's got greeblies. So I'm not sure they ever would have made a large scale version of it and then stuck greeblies to it like they did with the Millennium Falcon, but they've obviously done that kind of thing. So here we've got our engines. As I say, put my hands there, you can see how big they are. They're very big and they're very, very nice. Cockpit instrument panel there with our two big joysticks on it. I'll show you this close up in a minute. And we've got some other bits and pieces there. Seats. And there's the actual pilot seat there, which that's going to look great painted up. And we've got these hooks going into the cargo roof. And we've got the pilot there with his separate arms. We've got a doorway there, bulkhead. We've got more bulkheads there. Another bulkhead here with a net and looks like an oxygen cable on it. Another bulkhead there, which is just plain with no detail. And then again, these beautiful engines, which are very, very crisply moulded indeed. There's no slide moulding on there that I can see, but it is very nicely done. So yeah, very, very nice indeed. Give you a close-up look at that. See the beautiful detail on those engines. Really, really lovely. Very, very crisp indeed. And then we've got the instrument panel there with all the detail in there, which is nice. Let me get that light back up. There we go. All the lovely detail in there. And so yeah, detail on the bulkheads. You can make it there. So yeah, really, really nice. And that seat is gorgeous. All the detail on that seat. It's also got lots of detail on the back as well. So lovely. It's nice plastic as well. I do like Revell plastic, it is nice to work with. And then another sprue here. Again, a nicely sellotaped bag. So another sprue here. So we've got the, this is the stand parts there. So you've got the base, the upright and the actual main base itself. Here you've got the undercarriage doors, some undercarriage parts, undercarriage legs. As I say, that front leg looks very Millennium Falconish. And then this looks like more undercarriage, or is it parts of the guns? This is parts of the guns here, surely. And that's the actual undercarriage front leg there, and these are the rear legs by the look of it. So they are very, very beautifully detailed inside and out. A couple of ejector pin marks on them, but they are very, very shallow and very slightly raised, so they're going to be easy to get rid of. But really, really nice. The detail on here is very sharp. You see on there, the detail on those doors is it's lovely. Really, really nice indeed. You can see again on those doors there. Very crisp. Very, very sharp. Again, we've got some very small ejector pin marks on there. But all in all, very, very nice indeed. And then our last but one bag. Something I didn't look at. something I always like to look at is where it's made. Made in Poland, so that's good. So it's actually molded in Poland, which means the molds and everything would have been done in Europe, this explains why it's all so nice. So many companies now subcontract work out and sort of tend to lose touch with what they're doing. So we've got a beautifully detailed cargo bay floor. We've got this, what looks like a toilet. I'm sure it's not, but it looks like a toilet there. And then we've got the cargo bay roof, which again is beautifully detailed. All the sidewalls here. No ejector pin marks on there at all. Really nicely done. Thank you for no ejector pin marks, Revell. Other manufacturers should take note. You can make a complex panel without ejector pin marks. Got a ladder there. Some little round bits there. God knows what they are. But yeah, all very, very nice indeed. You can see on here. Lovely, lovely detail on all of that. It's going to take a coat of paint, some lovely masking, and then a wash, and it'll look beautiful. And look, they've put all the ejector pin marks on the back. Amazing. So yeah, really nice. And then our final grey sprue. This is the pièce de résistance. Ta-da! This is the upper section. It's going to need a wash. The sprues feel a little bit oily. If you are new to the hobby, the first thing you should always do with your kits is give them a wash in some warm soapy water. Rinse them off with some clean water, and then just let them air dry, because they do use mold release. Some will tell you they don't, but I can show you, for example, on here. If you look at this part here, if I can catch it in the light, you will see. Look at this area here, okay, where my finger's pointing now. You will see some mottling on there, and you'll see that is like an oily substance, and I can rub it with my finger and move it around. So some will tell you, they mention in their names, that the washing parts is not necessary and there is no oil and they don't use release agent. I can assure you they do. They probably spray the mold every sort of 3 or 4 shots. So if you've got the first one out when it's just been sprayed, then you're going to get quite an oily part. If you want to see, go back and look at my last review of the Lancia Delta Integrale, you'll see that on there is actually oil, black oil on the parts. Where it's where it's lubricating the ejector pins. The ejector pins are basically in the mould. You've got a flat surface in the mould. There's a pin in a hole, and what it does, as it comes along, and it pushes the part out. So you can see on here, these are ejector pin marks on the back of here. Okay, these circles, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. Okay, they're everywhere. So basically that would have been made in the mould like that, and you have these feet that come out and they go, and they push it out of the mould, and then it falls down, or a robot catches it or whatever, or a person will be there waiting to grab it. But yeah, so, but there we go. Look, I digress. This is simply gorgeous. The detail on here is so sharp. Again, we've got this very, very slightly grainy finish. It's not like Airfix. It's like the 1/24 scale Hellcat. But I don't know if I can catch it and like show you. It's matte. You can see that it's dull. It's got no shine to it. But it's got this very slight graininess, which means when you put a metal coat down, it's not going to look really bright and sparkly, which I guess we don't want. But we shall see how we get on. I think maybe a coat of primer and then a quick polish with some Scotch-Brite will help. But we've got to be careful not to lose any of this lovely detail. But you can see on the back here what I'm talking about. It looks very kind of Millennium Falconish with all these greeblies on the back here, and then you can see in this area here. And you can almost see, I mean, that there looks like the half of a gearbox out of a car. And then you got suspension wishbones over the side of it, or undercarriage legs from an F-18 or something like that. So it looks very, very Millennium Falconish with the greeblies. But you can see that all over there you got the escape module there, isn't it? I think it's all very, very beautifully done. The side panels of the cockpit there. Again, you can see the oil on there. There's one of the side entrance doors. Just looking in, there's no detail inside the cockpit roof, but you're not going to see any of that anyway. And then we've got the great big cannons there, or whatever they are, great big guns. Big boom boom things. There we go. So that's that. which is very nice indeed. And then finally here I've got the clear part sprue. Careful not to break anything. Careful not to touch them with my dirty finger. They're going to be oily now after touching those sprues. And oh yeah, very nice indeed. Crystal clear, lovely thin sprues. Let's just do a distortion test using the decal sheet or decal sheet or decal sheet. So if we look at that writing through there, you can see it's very little distortion. You're going to get distortion because it's got a radius on it, but you can see they're crystal clear. Really nice. Thin, beautifully molded, no scratch marks in them, no seam lines in them, because they've made them with just this one ejection point on them, or injection point should I say. Yeah, lovely, very nicely done. Worth remembering, guys, with these, if you are new to the hobby, with your clear parts, put them straight back in the bag. Don't ever just chuck them in the box, because they'll all get scratched up. Put that sellotape down on there, and then I can slip that back in there easily, just like so, and then pick the bag up. Oh, come on. It says the camera's on, so I'm going to mess you about. There we go. Put that down and just roll the sellotape down, and that's then put away now. They're not going to get scratched. Same with the decals. Keep the, come here. Keep the paper on the front, and then you can, and then you know you're not going to damage them or anything. And also just keep them slid in your instructions. So that's it. That's the review of the. Did we look at the decals? Can't remember if we did or not. Let's have a look at the decals. As I say, we did look at them, didn't we? We'll have another look. Very nicely done. In register, lovely colours, nice and thin, minimum carrier film. They look lovely when they go down. So what we'll do is we'll paint it silver, get all our base colours in, then we'll fit our decals, and then we'll weather it afterwards. So we're actually weathering the decals in as well. And a nasty scratch in there. Anyway, there we go, guys. So that has been the review of this model here, kit number 06781, the Millennium Falcon. No, the Razor Crest. So looking forward to doing this. This is going to be a Christmas build. As you can see on here, just showing you there, you can see how the model is going to look. That is just basically painted silver, and they've done a bit of blotching and stuff down here, but they've you know, that's basically a 10-minute paint job. Just spray it silver, and even like then it looks great. So you know, you can see the sort of effects you're going to get, and you can see there as well when you look at that picture there. This is the actual model. You can see inside the cockpit. So it's going to look wonderful. Really nice looking model. Anyway, there we go. So hope you've enjoyed that. That has been a review of this kit, and look forward to building it. Hope you can join me for the build. What I intend to do is just build it over the Christmas period. So sort of maybe start Christmas Eve and go up to New Year's Eve and try and get it done in that period. It's going to be a very quick build, and what I'll do is I'll film it in stages and sort of make sure that everything is covered on camera. And then if you are new to the hobby and you want to follow along, then you can. If you're not new to the hobby and you're not interested, then you can either not watch or fast forward. So that's what we're going to do. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all soon. If I don't see you before, happy Christmas. And there we go. See you all soon. Bye for now.